Gentrification is beneficial to some, but it can damage the lives of both lower-income people and ethnic minorities. This paper aims to discuss the failures of the organic food movement, the use of health food as a status symbol, and the damage that is done by reimagining indigenous or traditional foods. It focuses on the gentrification of food and examines USDA prices over the years, income levels, the effects of chains like Whole Foods and pricey comfort food restaurants like Harlem's Red Rooster, in an attempt to reveal the tendency toward tone-deafness in the organic food industry. It also aims to bring to light more effective ways to both honor the many cultures in America and facilitate better and more affordable food for all. Biscuits, cornbread, kale, black-eyed peas, collard greens, and fried chicken have long been known for their ability to please palates, fill stomachs, and nourish entire communities. In the last decades, these foods have been newly rejuvenated through modern reimaginations of classic dishes. Restaurants and grocers make biscuits vegan, cornbread gluten-free, serves fried chicken on small plates at high prices, and market kale not only in grocers like Whole Foods, but on t-shirts in the mall. The growing popularity of versions of these foods is not a problem in and of itself, but it is a troubling example of gentrification. This kind of gentrification is not as intentional as others, but it is as damaging. Because food is necessary for survival, the impact of regional and cultural dishes and ingredients being commodified can only be negative. Whole Foods sells organic produce in neighborhoods that cannot afford it. Upscale Southern-inspired restaurants push out the real thing, and greens become more expensive due to increased demand, making it difficult to feed the families and the communities that knew soul food and Southern food first. Soul food and its cousin, Southern comfort food, are only the latest cuisines to succumb to the sudden commercial popularization and reimagination. Other cheap, filling, and nutritious foods have also seen rises in American popularity. Of these, polenta and quinoa may be the most relevant. Polenta, or boiled cornmeal, once fed Romans before becoming a low-cost Italian and Italian-American staple. Many older Italians regard polenta as a reminder of their hungry years, while their offspring see it through the rosier lenses of nostalgia and mama's cooking. The culinary world took polenta in a drastically different direction at the turn of the millennium. Francis M. Malpezzi and William M. Clemens outlined this transformation in The Gentrification of Polenta, or Italian Americana. The authors describe how this boiled grain, once served as heaping mounds in Italian kitchens, has now been reduced to small circles plated with foie gras on white china in New York. Quinoa, an Andean staple, has also experienced revaluing as a nutritious foreign food capable of dressing up a Los Angeles salad or New York appetizer. When Time magazine interviewed Bolivian farmer Benjamin Horiachi in 2012, he remarked, "Quinoa was always comida para de los indios, food for Indians. Today it is food for the world's richest." The negative impact of gastronomic tourism is here at its most extreme. As farmers are tempted to sell their llamas, land, and entire harvest, they risk the unprecedented possibility of not being left with enough quinoa to feed the children of the Andes region. These elevated comfort foods share many common threads, including promotion from high-end retailers like Williams-Sonoma and Whole Foods. Kale and collards were rebranded as quinoa and polenta were, as hip and exciting additions to the middle-class American diet. On January 13, 2014, Whole Foods published a blog post on their website that makes the claim, "Collards are the new kale." In 2014, kale had already risen from its humble health food status to that of a superfood, and was being pushed as a key ingredient for raw salads, kale chips, smoothies, and a plethora of other healthy dishes. In August of the same year, some publications exaggerated kale shortages, but they reported the rises in kale prices accurately. SNAP, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as food stamps, some people, benefits serve 22,700 households in the U.S. as of March 6, 2014. Though the price increases equate to less than $1 per bunch, the price increases are still notable for many Americans when SNAP benefits average at $260 per household. Whole Foods have long been notorious for costing too much, earning, and I mean earning, the moniker whole paycheck, which is relevant as they continue to build in poorer neighborhoods. The chain store's impending entry into Chicago's struggling Inglewood is causing an uproar of its own as it recalls the opening of Detroit's first Whole Foods, which met with mixed reviews. It's a chance for people to have a real career, and that's exciting, states Midtown Detroit store manager in a 2015 interview with the Chicago Tribune. But some shoppers are still discouraged by the prices. One such shopper is Toyota Ruff, who likened shopping at Whole Foods to going to a football game for the first time, thinking, what the hell is going on here? Ruff made an effort, but left the store thinking she'd be better off just buying from Aldi's. And she's not alone in her opinion. Marie Thornton said that the store piqued her interest as well, but she left with 2 meager products and stated, I cannot afford to shop at the store based on those prices. Whole Foods ignores the pleas of protesters who say that the chain will impact the ethnic makeup of their neighborhood. The lesser organic foods giant Trader Joe's listens. When Trader Joe's revealed its plans to expand into Portland, African American activists were quick to voice concerns that the store was not beneficial to the Black community. And the corporation responded, our approach is simple. If a neighborhood does not want Trader Joe's, we understand and we will not open the store in question. Not often is the issue of gentrification addressed so easily. To clarify the definitions of soul food and Southern food, as well as their importance to the national culture, it is necessary to look at the history of these foods. Adrienne Miller, author of Soul Food, A Surprising Story of American Cuisine, offers a method in distinguishing between the two, stating that soul food is the result of Black Southern cooking as it migrated upward into other regions of the United States, developing more intense characteristics along the way. It's going to be sweeter, and it's going to have more spice. This explains how soul food in Georgia, Louisiana, Chicago, and New York will all carry the same level of authenticity, even though there's a great variance in the sweetness of cornbread, the meatiness of collards, and even in the batter of fried chicken. In her cookbook, New Southern Cooking, Natalie Dupree writes, Southern cooking is primarily home cooking, not chef's art. It certainly ain't novella or precious. It's just good food, fit for savoring, not simply pretty to look at. The foods of the South for generations were meant to nourish hardworking families as they came together at mealtimes. When Marcus Samuelson opened Red Rooster Harlem, he met criticism for the fact that you can't even get takeout up in there. Southern cooking carries with it the expectation that it is filling and abundance is valued over appearance. The idea of utilizing resources is also central. Traditional soul food dishes like fried catfish, terrapin, and chitterlings all exemplify this. And though these meats are increasingly hard to come by, other proteins have been utilized, such as whiting and turkey. Malpezzi and Clements mentioned that a sign of the gentrification of polenta was the image of neat and non-traditional polenta triangles on a cookbook cover by retailer Williams Sonoma. In 2015, kale is on the cover of 2 Williams Sonoma cookbooks, and the website sells 2 varieties of gluten-free cornbread, priced at $12.95 and $16.95 a box. Williams Sonoma is unlike Whole Foods in its stated intent. It never claims to be within reach for the poor. The reason the store's stock is important is that it predicts culinary trends that will later be shown in the restaurant world. Marcus Samuelson's Red Rooster Harlem is one of the most notable modern soul food kitchens in America, serving up its own place on cornbread and fried chicken and waffles. In a 2012 article for The Observer, fellow chef Eddie Huang interviewed rapper, producer, and Harlem native Shice Bubs as they paid visit to Samuelson's new establishment. Shice made it clear that he did not find Red Rooster representative of his neighborhood. It's upsetting, because a lot of our good spots, like Strawberry, closed. Then this opened on 125th, and the president came in and it got all the attention along with this new wave of restaurants. In Harlem, we take pride in having little spots that wow people. They over-deliver. And this place is like a factory. People from other neighborhoods come in and they think this is what Harlem is about, but it's not, because who in Harlem pays $28 per chicken? Samuelson is Ethiopian and was raised, as he states in his memoir, in a nice middle-class Swedish life. So it's less surprising then that items like a $77 duck and 3 servings find their place among mac and greens and the aforementioned peanut chicken, which is actually $27. Meanwhile, restaurants catering to Harlemites over tourists, like Miss Maud's Spoonbread 2 and Amy Ruth's, are more conservative in menu items as well as prices. Miss Maud's offers candied yams, collard greens, and fresh cornbread, as well as a delivery service, making it more accessible to the working population of the region. Samuelson's restaurant had pure intentions too, hiring local individuals as well as staff. It's the way that the soul food at Red Rooster hangs out of the neighborhood's reach that illustrates the problem with the appropriation of soul food. In Williams-Sonoma, Red Rooster, and Whole Foods, good food is reappropriated as a status symbol rather than a right or a tradition. In a 2010 article on food security for Newsweek, Joel Berg of the New York City Coalition Against Hunger summarized how these types of establishments can fail the neighborhoods that they attempt to help by misunderstanding the problem. It's a nuanced conversation, but I think local or organic, a shorthand for all things good, is too simplistic. In other words, offering healthy local or organic food in and of itself isn't helpful. While Whole Foods has good reason for charging more for organic cage food eggs, the choices for poor shoppers attempting to feed families will still end up being at other stores. Williams-Sonoma isn't hurting anyone directly with gluten-free cornbread, but it's almost patronizing to see how they can charge $54.95 for a 24-count box of Charleston biscuits. One can assume that there's no consumer overlap between Williams-Sonoma and places like Nana's pay-by-the-pound Harlem Soul restaurant. Again, the idea of abundance over appearance is relevant. Merely pointing fingers at businesses that unwittingly perpetuate food gentrification would not be productive. It's necessary to examine methods in which traditional food can inspire innovation without erasing history, as well as the ways that the food industry can be more mindful of lower classes. The most obvious of all solutions is to appreciate authenticity. Rather than seeking out the hippest reimagining of Southern food in town, it is better for the community to dine at local, traditional restaurants than at trendy, overpriced restaurants that charge premium for simple stuffed biscuits. This doesn't mean Southern food or soul food has to remain stuck in the past. There are modern interpretations of the classics that keep the soul and ethics in mind. Adrian Miller believes that vegan soul food is taking off without detracting from tradition at all. As Miller states, the biggest place for experimentation right now is in the Bay Area of California. What's happening in Oakland in terms of vegan soul food and vegetarian soul food is pretty next level stuff. That's where soul food is going. And the movement is not limited to California either. The reach for healthy and sustainable food is widespread, even in the Motor City. Detroit Vegan Soul thrives, and its founders make it their mission to provide healthful and affordable food for Detroiters. In Gainesville, Florida, Holy Barbecue Cafe is nestled near quality student apartments and high-end coffee shops. Yet the business is as committed to the community as it is to serving pulled pork. At Holy Barbecue, owner David Williams runs his restaurant out of a previously run-down building with a staff made up of at-risk youth aged 18 to 26, and he's giving them an opportunity to learn about the restaurant business. He's even hired some of his staff through the nonprofit Youth Build, which is a leadership program for at-risk youth. Soul food and Southern food are far from the only traditional cuisines that have been commandeered in America in recent years. But the story of their evolution serves as an example. Mexican food, Vietnamese food, and Indian food routinely inspire chefs who sell inauthentic food at unaffordable prices. Yet the problems and solutions are the same. Whole Foods and other corporations are avoidable to an extent, but when you have a choice as a consumer, it is best to be conscious not only of GMOs and foodie trends, but of how your choices may affect your community. The issue of food gentrification is complex and multifaceted, but it can be understood. While food gentrification is systematic and a symptom of American capitalism, the negative repercussions can be minimized. Because of the American consumer's place within the capitalist system, the careful selection of places shoppers and diners spend their money may be the greatest way to incite change. When one does have the means to buy organic, it's worth it to shop at health food stores that give back to their communities, like Lucky's Market, rather than giants such as Whole Foods and Fresh Market. It's imperative that the soul of food is kept in mind no matter what type of food it is. Food is meant to nourish, to be shared, to bring joy and life to individuals. Amidst the health food revolution, we must keep in mind that what is not revolutionary for everybody is not truly revolutionary.